All right, what's good, fam? Back live and direct, I tried to get that starting thing going so like you guys could load in before, but for some reason, Rumble Studio is weird and it says like I'm going live, even though I'm not going live. So every single time I try to say, or every single time I try to set a starting time, it's like, oh, you already have a live going. I'm like, no, the fuck I don't. What the hell? So it's like it's weird, but I'm gonna figure it out eventually. So this way, as I was saying yesterday in yesterday's stream, you guys can be able to like fill in before I go live, rather than it's just like I go live and we instantly start getting into it, rather than having you niggas be able to fill in and already be here before it actually starts, you know, so we can work our way up into it. But anyway, I'm gonna get that shit fixed, so no worries. Then otherwise, just let's get right into this shit, man. We're pretty much almost done with this shit too now, almost like less than an hour. So let's see what else information I could pull out of this shit and impart to you guys. All right.
Then you're talking about the most powerful people in the world on this list, perhaps. And you're asking why is the list?
As always, I gotta re-jog my memory on what we were just talking. Oh, talking about the list, and I was talking about some broke people. Somebody broke. Something. Yeah. So basically, the list. Oh, and how like they would never release a list where it's like everybody's compromised. It's a super bad idea. So of course they're gonna lie and say, oh, nobody's on the list or whatever. So it's like, yeah. I mean, this is what niggas do.
Let's not come out. I would argue that the most powerful people in the world, if they have half a brain, are talking to Cash and Pam and saying, look, maybe this is on, maybe I'm on that list, maybe I did something bad, but also look at all the good I've done. This. You want to appease a few Twitter autists, but it's going to have this consequence, that consequence, that consequence, that consequence, that consequence. And then as a rational adult.
Oh, and this was I was saying. I was also saying yesterday too, how like well, the thing is, if enough American people are angry about some shit, you know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna be a problem, you know. Of course, if you're already rich and wealthy and powerful, you're gonna be in a situation where, you know, you're gonna want to influence the government in a way, be like, all right, let's not release that list. It's gonna make me look bad. It's gonna I've done all these other things, as he's saying. I've done all these other good things. It's gonna make me look bad. But I think if enough American people are mad about something, things change naturally. You know, I think that's becoming increasingly clear, especially with the Israel situation. Like, I think that's becoming increasingly clear that like if enough American people get mad about something, you know, things will change. That's why the Zohar guy, you know, for him running for mayor, like he's so popular simply because he rejects AIPAC and rejects Israel and what's going on, you know, in Gaza. So the American people have an effect when everyone is involved, if that makes sense. But if you're already rich and powerful, it's just kind of like you're going to directly go to the government to influence shit. So anyway, depends.
There's rational conversations to have. And rational conversations are about subjectivity and compromise. It's not about sitting and saying, that's the law, so that's what we're going to do. Da, da, da. And that's what we all like to believe, that the law is the law and we all stick to the law. Doesn't work that way.
You know, I mean, that's why we discuss it in court anyway. It's always never that clear. So
I wonder if how many people know. For example, think about the Epstein files. How many people you think have seen it? How many know that are working for the government? What do you think that number is? 50? 100? Is it 20? Is it 18? Or is it 300? How many is it?
But here's another thing. Here's another fear I would have if I was Cash. And I'm not in his position, but here's a fear I would have if I was Cash. I would understand there's a hostile media environment towards my president. I would understand that people lie by omission. As we discussed earlier, when you call 100 girls, you only choose one. When you leave out a huge part of the story, you are lying, but you're telling the truth about part of the story, but you're lying by omission. Perhaps they're looking at these files saying, there's 400 names on here, but there's these 2 names that's going to hurt us. Mm-hmm. And the media is going to ignore 398 names. Yeah. And they're going to only pick up these 2 names. And they're
which is fair.
Going to wreck us with these 2 names and ignore all the names on their side. Is this worth it to appease Twitter autists? Because we're now going to have a lying by omission attack that we're going to be dealing with for the rest of human time. Also, we have no idea what's in these Epstein files. I don't know. Nobody knows. Is it proof of crimes? Is it proof of trafficking? Is it sexual details? Or is it just a flight log? I don't know. So perhaps you could have someone dead to rights.
But even assuming what people would want from files like this, it'd be like, okay, I want to see like real shit. They want names, pretty much. Niggas want to know who is on it. That's the biggest thing, really, is what it is. You know,
fucking children on their side, and you could just have one person on a flight log on our side, and the person who did the genuine crime will be ignored, lied by omission, and they'll just mention the one guy who caught a flight once. This is a consideration as professionals. You have to sit down and go, how can our enemy, it's chess. I'm going to make this move to attack my enemy. How can he attack me after the move has been made? And I'm telling you that Pam and Cash, as professionals, are sitting there going, they're going to ignore 99.8% of this, and they're going to take that 0.2%, and they're going to wreck us with it. We're going to be in Senate hearings. We're going to be hearing about it on the news. It's going to affect the next election. They're going to be talking about it all over the. It gets messy now. And who are you trying to appease?
That's also one thing that I've noticed about being a politician that's hard. And this is me giving, because like obviously everybody wants to be mad at politicians all the time. Say, oh, they're corrupt and whatever. And that's true for the most part. But obviously the angle I kind of look at it is like when you're a politician and you represent people, you know, and you want to get policies done for people. The thing is, not everybody's ridiculously intelligent. Not everybody understands how policies are going to affect a ton of different things. So it's hard when you're a politician to make everybody happy. Does that make sense? But you just have to like make enough people happy that you get reelected. So this is why politicians tend to lie a lot, because they're like, okay, if I can just keep enough people happy, then I know I'll get reelected and be able to remain in power, you know, which tends to lead to corruption a lot of the times, because when you're a politician, you're like, well, I kind of need to lie to stay in power, because if I don't lie and I start really telling the truth, a lot of people aren't going to like that. And especially the base that I represent, or the people I represent, a lot of them are not going to fuck with that. And I kind of need them to fuck with that so I remain in power. I don't want to make any moves that's going to make everybody hate me, even if it's for the greater good. That's just like the dangerous thing that I've personally noticed when it comes to politics in general and politicians. It's just like you're in this weird position where you're trying, you know, I would assume to a degree, you're trying to do the right thing. But at the same time, you know, you don't want to make a move that's going to upset a ton of people because you don't want to lose your power. It's weird. It's basically what I'm saying is it's a lot harder to be a politician than people think. Like it's way harder. It's not like, oh, I just be able to do whatever I want, or I can make a particular move and everything's all good. It's just like, no, niggas are opinionated. Niggas are going to have issues with policies that you're with that you're for and against. It makes shit difficult. So
trying to appease,
not that you can't criticize them, obviously, if they represent, if like, that's what I'm saying. That's the thing. It's like they have to be criticized because they represent the policies that people want to be implemented. But at the same time, it's like that's what makes it difficult to be a politician, because you're like trying to put in policies that makes enough people happy that you get reelected. So it's a strange situation.
Drama merchants. Because a lot of people online who pretend to care about law and order are drama merchants. All the people who were involved in my case, I am so offended by human trafficking, Andrew Tate, that I've done nothing wrong. So you're just a drama merchant. You're not offended by anything because it's not real. You're just a drama merchant who wants to pretend they're matter with their shit little opinion and be involved in drama because no one gives a fuck about you when you walk down the street and you want to be a big guy on Twitter. So you want to pretend you matter. So you have to analyze these things carefully. I would argue, if I had to come to the bottom of it, we talked about the money aspect, but I would also argue there is an aspect there where the lying by omission attack, it opens them up to a massive attack vector. And they have to consider this attack vector is going to be very hard to dispute for a very long time. And they're going to ignore 99% of this file and attack us with the 1%. Sometimes trying to do the good thing, doing the right thing. The mob.
I would agree to it. I would just agree with the fact that if the files were ever to be released, which they probably won't ever, like it would only be, people would only really be concerned with a couple of people. That is true. I think only the real nerds, the real, you know what I'm saying? The real niggas that actually want to know what's going on would research and look at all the names and see all the different connections, you know, especially because people believe that Epstein was involved with Mossad. Like there's going to be a whole angle of people searching for names through that. So it's interesting. Only the real niggas would actually want to see everybody on the list. But most people, bro, they just want to know their favorite or person that they hate the most who's on there. And be like, look, he was touching kids. We found out.
The peasants, the mob, are not the good guys. Gaddafi did great for his people. What did they do to him? What did they do to him?
Pieces.
They chopped him to pieces and sodomized him. Trying to appease the mob doesn't always work like you think it does. It's not easy.
Yeah, I mean, it's a point being made. The question becomes, do you think the names are going to be?
And even what he just said there is what I mean by, like, it's hard to be a politician sometimes because it's just like you're trying to appease everyone and no one's ever happy, bro. Let's keep it a fucking stack, bro. Nobody's ever happy. Everyone's like, I want this to be this way or that way, and there's conflicting ideas or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like in a situation where I think I saw this tweet on X one time. I can't remember where I saw that shit. I forgot who tweeted this shit. I think actually Home Math tweeted this shit. So you guys could check him out on X if you want to. Pretty smart guy. But he said something where he was like, when you're a politician, like, this is what you'll have to deal with. Someone will be like, okay, a politician will be like, okay, do you guys are against war, right? You don't want us to go to war. And everyone will be like, yes, I am against war. And then on the other end, people will say, and then on the other end, you're like, okay, we need to go to war for the betterment of, the country in a particular area or for whatever. We need to go to war for this reason. And then everyone's like, yeah, okay, yes, let's go to war. Why aren't we going to war? And it's like, y'all just said y'all don't want to go to war. You know what I'm saying? It's like imagine you have a base where nobody wants to go to war, and then one side of it wants to go to war. So it's like you have to pick and choose who you're even going to get to appease because you can't make everybody happy. And that's the dilemma I'm talking about of being a politician. Like, when you represent a group of people, there's always going to be people in said group that you're representing that have conflicting ideals. One part of the group might be like, I'm pro-war, I want us to go to war all the time. And another group might be like, no war, I don't want to go to war at all. And it's like, you kind of have to pick and choose what group of people within the group that you represent that you're going to appease to. And like playing that kind of game is difficult, which is why, I mean, at least until Trump, got elected and became president back in 2016, politicians were never so blunt and direct about how they feel about things. That's why he's so jarring to everybody. That's why, like, I would assume so. I mean, I was when this nigga got elected, I was like 15. But prior to that, especially like when Obama was president, like politicians were a lot more well-spoken, chose their words very carefully, weren't very blunt, and didn't say very ridiculous things, So like they were very calculated because they understood, okay, how do I keep my entire base happy, or how do I get as many people as possible to like me without saying something too directly that I'm going to do because it's going to divide people. Because the minute Trump came into office in 2016, I remember I was in high school, bro, and our principal had to come on the mic and be like, everybody calm down, whatever, just keep all your politics and all the other kind of stuff at home. He said something like that. And I was like, it's really this deep for niggas? And it just goes to show how jarring Trump was when he came into power as a president. Like, he was so blunt. It's just, and anyway, he was in the entertainment industry, so he's used to being like that. But like, he's just so blunt about everything. So, people aren't used to that. So, which is why he created such a big divide for everybody, which I find interesting.
At this point, I don't think it is.
I don't think so.
I don't think
and
it
going
is.
off of what you said, Andrew, my thing is, and we're not those the people that are just like, I just want. My thing is the young, because we don't know the ages, but there was young children, and you guys have children, me and Adam don't, young children that were flown there, that were potentially raped, and you know what? That's a big-ass island. Murdered, killed, because these people have no homes there. Nobody. We can just get rid of them, probably cremated over there, and now those people are just walking around, and I get it, bro, because as a Christian, God is going to pay them back.
You know what's interesting? This ties back into something we were talking about earlier with polygamy and me having multiple women and these things. And this is an interesting thought experiment I want us all to undertake here, because I would argue that the reason we have such a problem with sexual perversion amongst our elite class in the West is because monogamy is being pushed to the front, where it's unnatural to a degree for certain men. Not all men, but certain men are not interested in monogamy, and it's being pushed to the front, and people are getting to a certain level of wealth and power, and they're stuck with one wife who they perhaps don't even get along with anymore, and they're only together for a show marriage, and they don't even enjoy each other's company anymore, and they're sexually repressed, and the only place they can go to do anything sexual without getting exposed is this island. And before you know it, they end up doing more and more depraved things. You know why you don't see Russians on that island? Rich Russians? Because rich Russians are allowed 10 girlfriends. So then they have.
And this is also why I say, or that I've noticed, is just like, I think it's just important for all men to understand. Men only fall into depression a lot of the times when they either, or I would even say both, when they lack purpose and they can't tell the truth, right? Those are the two ways that men tend to be depressed. When a man doesn't have something that he's willing to fight and die for, obviously his life tends to suck. There's nothing you are doing. We are doers. God has given us the ability to do things and create things and make things, right? He's given us that ability and power. So when we don't use it, naturally we feel bad. We feel like something is wrong, you know? And which makes sense. And something is wrong because you should be doing something. You should have a purpose that you're fighting and dying for, right? It's the only way that your life becomes meaningful to you. Otherwise, naturally, you're going to drown yourself in pleasure and doing degenerate things and doing depraved things. Because what else is there to do? You know, if you have nothing you're fighting and dying for, what else are you going to do? You're just going to drink, party, smoke, gamble, you know, do all the, you know, deadly sins, basically, or the vices or whatever. You're going to fall into that shit because there's nothing else to really do. And another side of this, though, is even if you have a purpose, right? Let's say you find your calling or find something that, you know, you enjoy doing for the long term, whatever that may be. And unfortunately, you can't say the truth. You know, this tends to be common with entertainers. This is why entertainers usually do a lot of depraved things, because when you're an entertainer, you're controlled in what you're allowed to have opinions on, you know, what you can be honest about and what you can't be honest about, like you're controlled, right? Or you don't get the vehicle behind you. You don't get the vehicle that promotes you, advertises you, puts you everywhere. You don't get that, you know, if you're being openly honest and real about how you feel about certain things. But the thing is, when this also happens to men, they tend to become very depressed as well. Because when you can't be truthful about what you really think about particular situations, especially if they're controversial, you know, what's the point of having all the money and the fame and the status and all these different things if you can't be honest about how you feel about things? You know, it's like, what's the point? Like, why have all this power and you can't do anything really with it? Right? Sure, you're famous, you have money or whatever, but you really can't do much with your power. You can't be honest about anything, you know, because you know if you're honest, you're going to lose everything that you have. And so now you're stuck in this dilemma where it's like you want to be honest about things, but you know you'll lose everything you have if you are honest. So you're stuck having to lie about everything all the time, you know? And this is why you might not realize, but a lot of these entertainers tend to be depressed or be going crazy or be hooked on drugs and shit. And then you sit there and you wonder why. And it's like, because they can't do anything else. You think they can talk about real controversial topics, you know, or be honest about how they actually feel about things? No, they know that they can't, because they're going to lose their handlers. They're going to lose everything that they have. So what else is there to do? You know, it's just fall into vices. When a man has his purpose that he's following in his life, and it can be honest and truthful about what he really thinks about things, that's when he's at his best. That's when you are free as a man. You know, you have no shackles. The masculine destiny is independence and the pursuit of independence, you know, both mental and physical, right? Physical aspect will be wealth. Once you have money, you have the freedom to do what you want to do, right? But the mental aspect is being able to speak the truth and say the truth and be honest about things, how you see things or how you feel about things. But a lot of men give up that side for the physical. You know, they gain all the money and the wealth and the status and the fame, but they give up the ability to be honest about things. So it's like a layered depression that a lot of these men fall into, which is why they always get addicted to drugs or do depraved things and show up on Epstein's Island and shit, because they have to hide. So saying this all to say, it's important as a man that you never sell your soul. You know, it's not worth it. The money and the fame and the status is not worth the truth. If you can't speak the truth, it's really not worth it. There's no point. Because realistically speaking, if I said, hey, I'll give you $1 million, but you have no control over what you get to do, would you really want to sit there and take that? You'd be like, fuck no, then it's not worth it. It's only worth it if you can be free, right? So never sign no contract, no deal where you're selling your freedom away unless you want to and unless you understand what you're getting into. So let this just be known. Let's say you want to be an entertainer, you know, you want to be an actor, any of these things, any of these industries that have enablers, you know, record labels, whatever it is. If you want to get into that shit, just understand what comes with it. You're going to lose that ability to tell the truth. And I'm telling you, it might not actually be worth it for you. So just keep that shit in mind, y'all. It's super important. So we keep it cooking.
Their wife and they have their play toys and they're fine, because that's the masculine imperative at a certain level and certain echelon of wealth and power and status. So if you're a man who's prepared to have a bunch of women and you have your women, you're happy enough. But if you're a man who's stuck with a woman and you don't even get along with each other and it's a show marriage and you have to be together and you argue all the time and you're sexually repressed and you're being promised in secret that you can go to an island and finally be pleasured and satisfied, no one's ever going to find out. That's how you end up on the island. So this
Which is true.
whole monogamy garbage that's being pushed by the West, especially amongst our elites, is the reason we have the biggest problem with pedophilia. And they don't have this problem in South America because they all have girlfriends. They don't have this problem in Russia because they all have girlfriends. The Thai elites don't have this problem. They all have girlfriends. But here in the West, we're saying, nope, you just stick with your wife, only her, be happy with her. What happens if you don't get along anymore? What happens if you don't fuck anymore ever? What happens if you're not enjoying it? And you're hearing all these stories from all.
You know what's interesting about what he's saying here too as well is like, it's not even just like at the highest echelons of wealth and status of fame that this shit happens. Married men do this shit all the time, especially now more than ever. Married men do this shit all the time. Like, married men don't cheat on their wives, but what do? They buy OnlyFans, they watch porn. So they find ways because, at least for men, naturally, monogamy isn't natural for us, you know? And especially think about it, if you're some married dude and your wife isn't smashing you anymore, what the fuck are you going to do? You're going to still pay the bills and still take care of her because naturally, since the beginning of our birth, all men are taught, oh, nope, you have to perform. You know, you have this burden of performance. You have to make sure that you take care of your wife or kids or no matter what. You know, so men are willing to suffer to take care of their family, but they'll find other ways to take care of that itch, you know? If they don't have the wealth, money, and status, they ain't going to no fucking island. What are they doing? They're going to watch porn and they're going to buy OnlyFans. I think I saw a stat yesterday talking about how, statistically speaking, the highest buyers of OnlyFans content for these girls, these whores more specifically, is for married guys, just married white guys. Like, those are the guys that are paying the most for OnlyFans by far. And like, you sit there and you think, why would that be the case? Probably because their wives aren't smashing them anymore. So they're like, okay, well, I need to take care of this itch, so I'm just gonna buy an OnlyFans. So it's really interesting when you think about it. It's just like, naturally for us as men, like, monogamy is not natural at all. But to make matters worse, we're in this situation where, like, women don't want to fuck their husbands anymore. So it's like men are going to find other ways to express it, whether they have money or not. So
these people having a great time. That's why we have a perversion problem, because we're suppressing men's natural inclination to sexually mate with women who are not the one they're married to. Mm-hmm. That is actually the root of a lot of pedophilia. People say, I am the problem.
And this is what I'm saying. Like, when women don't want to smash their husbands, that's just what happens. This is why the porn industry exists. That's why OnlyFans exists. It's just its prominence and its existence. And the reason why women can make so much money on it is because there's white guys that are not getting smashed by their wives anymore, and they have money to spare. You know, so what are they going to do? They're going to spend it on OnlyFans.
The West, and I'm destroying Western society. I would argue, and I'm good at that actually at a certain echelon, monogamy causes more problems than it solves.
True.
The ability to communicate and debate. I can't wait to see this kind of stage debating any argument.
I will become a citizen there.
Rob,
to vote for.
Can you play
you know,
the clip?
I'm laughing because someone's going to take this clip.
Yeah, for sure.
Some guy who works at Pizza Hut is going to take this clip after he gets caught cheating on his girlfriend. He's going to say, listen.
This is why.
You want me to become a pedophile?
But I just made pepperoni pizzas. I'm tired. I don't want to fuck kids.
But I don't understand the pedophilia thing, because believe me, I live in Miami. I know the Russians. Yeah. I know the Colombians. I know the Venezuelans. I get
There's Russians in Miami. What the fuck?
the extra girlfriends.
No, okay.
But if you're not happy being married, why do you got to go to the...
No.
Just go bang a hot chick.
But they go. But
why
a
kid?
I would argue, and I have no idea, that they go.
Like, why is there Russians in Miami though? What the fuck? Hold on. I just want to search this shit now, because Russians in Miami. No, Russian I know y'all can't see it. I'm doing it on another screen. Population in Miami. Will it give me a stat? While there isn't a significant number of Russian Miami, is known to be significant growing community, particularly in certain areas. Sunny Isles Beach, known as Little Moscow. So apparently Russian niggas are moving to Miami. I just never thought that'd be a case ever. Like, the fuck, bro? So it's just so fucking random.
To these islands with the intention of sleeping with a beautiful 23, 24-year-old, whatever. And they do eventually, but then other people are doing this, and it gets further and further down the depravity. And then it's kind of like, if you go to these secret clubs and you're the only person not doing it, you can't be trusted. So it's I guess there's a peer pressure element.
Or maybe
I think it's a culmination over years.
Or maybe
you end up
they
doing
tell
these
them
things.
that they're 19, 20. Turns out
Probably.
they're 16.
Probably.
Yeah, I mean, niggas is getting blackmailed. Let's just keep it a stack.
And they have it on camera, and now you're going to do what I
And they can
want to
blackmail
do.
you. Yeah. Oh no,
That's probably
is
what
there
it
a
is.
blackmail element? Well,
Sure, right?
It would be stupid to believe there isn't, right? Because if you're going to have a secret club and you're going to try and get powerful people to come to it, you're going to want to have leverage over them to make sure you're not exposed. So of course there's a blackmail element on top also. I'm saying the initial reason men are interested at all. If Obama wasn't stuck with Michelle and he was allowed 4 or 5 big booty cuties, he wouldn't be on the fucking Epstein's Island.
Which is true though. I'm gonna keep it a stack. That's why it's just so dangerous once you gain a significant amount of power in your life as a man, bro. You have to you got to be so careful, bro. Ain't no islands, ain't no random nothing. Like, bro, you have to be so ridiculously careful because when you're a winner, you have so much to lose. Or when you finally become a winner in your life, you just have so much shit to lose that it's just not worth it, bro. Like you can't even do anything. That's how I've been saying for like the past few streams. It's like, bro, if you know you got a bright future ahead of you, you can't even fuck with girls no more. You're actually genuinely in a situation where you can't even fuck with girls no more. Because if you do, 6, 7, 8 years down the line, once you're making your money, you're rich, you're famous, you're whatever, you got your status up, you're cooking, she can just turn around and say, you know what? That nigga raped me. And you're cooked. It's really just that easy. So it's like, you have to if you know your future is bright, you have to be like, man, is smashing this one chick really worth it though? You have to start really weighing your future. Which I just think is kind of funny, but, we're in a situation where, and I'll just talk about this just a little bit for y'all. So we're in a situation where you are pretty much guilty of a crime before you've committed a crime, if that makes sense. Like, if you know you're on the path to greatness and achieving great things in your life, becoming very wealthy, very famous, whatever it may be, right? Which all of you guys should be aspiring to, of course, or why else the fuck would you be watching this, right? You have to understand that dealing with chicks is going to be dangerous. You are actually taking a big risk, like generally speaking, and this is saying it like it's going to happen for you, like you're going to become very important to this world. So you already got to start moving like you are if you know that's going to probably be your future. So this means you actually have to be ridiculously careful when you're dealing with chicks because these bitches out here, bro, they're real predators. You'd be surprised if you know you're going to be important, you know you're going to be successful, you know you're going to achieve a lot of big shit. You have to understand when you deal with chicks, you are taking a risk nowadays. You genuinely are. Because women, there's no rules, regulations, or boundaries against false accusations at all. Like a woman can literally just go to the court and say you raped her, and then boom, you in the courtroom, right? She'll instantly be believed with no significant evidence. She'll instantly be believed, right? And if you have all these brand deals and you're collaborating with a bunch of important people, so on and so forth, you're going to lose all those things because nobody wants to be associated with somebody who's even been falsely accused, let alone actually be proven guilty and been convicted. Bro, nobody even wants to fuck with anybody who's falsely accused. So you can lose a lot of shit very quickly off one false accusation, right? And this could be from a girl that you've dealt with before you became anything. That's my whole point here. If you know you're on this path, I'm telling you right now, if you've been fucking bitches, you are already at risk. Like a girl can genuinely turn around and be like, you know what? He actually raped me back then. It can happen. So, I mean, if you're already done it, it is what it is, but it's just more understanding moving forward. Like this is something that can happen to you. So I think it's just very important for you now moving forward. If you deal with any chicks in the future, of course, which you more than likely will, you are taking that risk and it can potentially come back to bite you, but this could just be a part of the game. This could be what it takes to be a winner. Or this is more of something that's just a part of being a winner. Girls will turn around and fuck your shit up. If their feelings change about the consent that they gave you 6 years ago, their feelings can change. So just be aware of this and understand this so you know this on your path. So if it does come up, it doesn't surprise you. And the fact that you can be prepared and ready for it, as you make more money into the future, you're like, you know what, let me save some money for, trials and lawsuits and shit. Because it happens, But I think in fact, one thing I would honestly say is that I think it's worthwhile. Not worthwhile in the sense that it should happen to you, but it shows that you're on the right path. If you're being falsely accused, it means that you're very important and significant to the world. that a girl would think back to 6 years ago when you dealt with her and be like, you know what, I should just say he raped me because look how great he is now. You know, it's a part of success, right? What massive business or enterprise or whatever has not been through one lawsuit, right? If you're not going through lawsuits, are you really a winner? But yeah, so this is just something you should keep in mind as a guy who's going to become extremely successful in the future when you're on this path. Like, it's a part of the game. These women out here are predators, to be real. So we keep going. We keep it going.
Stuck with Michelle, who's bigger than him. So he's like, fuck this. So he goes to the island. But if he was allowed to have a harem, he wouldn't be interested.
You're saying he's scared of his
I think she'd beat him in a fight.
You really?
100%.
You know what?
He's scared of his brand for sure.
On her.
I would probably do the same. I think Michelle would whoop Obama's ass. Seriously.
But Bill
her
Clinton,
back. She has a back
Can you do
on
me a
her.
favor?
No, yeah, Michelle Obama's fucking huge, my nigga. That bitch is huge, bro. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
Clinton would never cheat on Hillary. We know that.
No, of course
That's
not.
just
No,
for
of
sure.
course
Right?
not.
He'd never go to
By
that.
the way, I don't know if you guys heard about what Trump said about death penalty and drug dealers. Did you see this?
No.
Very interesting. Rob, can you, if you could.
This
This
is
is
recently?
President Trump talking about death penalty with drug dealers. I'm going to get your thoughts on it. Go for it, Rob.
If you notice that every country that has the death penalty has no drug problem, they execute drug dealers. And when you think about it, it's very humane.
Ooh, there is actually something I want to say about this too. Because, yeah, anyway.
Because every drug dealer, on average, they say kills at least 500 people, not to mention the damage they do to so many others, but they kill large numbers of people. China, Singapore, actually, there are quite a few, many in Asia, where they have the death penalty. There's no drug problem whatsoever. They come to our country because we have a much softer policy. We give them a slap on the wrist and say, kill a lot of people. So we're going to, I don't know if our country is ready for it. I am ready for it. The death penalty, if you deal drugs,
strong.
you have to set out guidelines like fairly large numbers, et cetera. But you'll have it go down very greatly. One of the
Pause it. Thoughts.
I think it would fix the problem. I agree with him. Logic. I mean, it is very strong. Do I answer from an emotional perspective? And you know what's actually funny? From an emotional perspective, after being through the lawfare I've been through and the accusations I've been through when I was innocent, I'm actually far less death penalty than I was before the accusations. Because before the accusations, I was 100% death penalty. And now, after seeing how you can get fucking wrecked in a court when you've done nothing wrong, I'm a lot more, whoa. Don't calm down. So emotional. whoa.
Take it easy.
I mean, even that is, I would argue that's a lot less emotional, though, because there is times when you think, sometimes the fast solution isn't always the best long term. It's even great that he even said that, because that's a great example of a situation where, sure, initially you might even hear that and think, okay, that'd be great if we just were killing niggas that were, drug dealers. But we also want to make sure that they're actually guilty of a crime, because imagine somebody gets killed and they weren't actually guilty. New information comes out, new data comes out to prove that this nigga wasn't guilty, because it happens. It's happened, where somebody has to sit in a prison cell for 20 years or something just to find out that they weren't guilty of the crime. And then at least they get to get out, and live their life again. But like, if you kill someone, like, that's it, bro. Like the problem with the death penalty is you have to be so sure of the crime. You have to be so sure that this person committed the crime. It's ridiculous, because their life's over. It's not like there's no redos on this shit. Like, they're dead for sure. So while initially it sounds great, for fixing the drug problem naturally, it's just only difficult because it's like you have to be able to convict them so well. Like, it has to be so ridiculously accurate. It's ridiculous. That's why at least El Salvador, based off what I've seen and based off my memory, with them, it's like they're just capturing these niggas off the street, bro. They're throwing niggas in jail cells immediately. Even if you're slightly gang affiliated, you go into fucking jail instantly. There in El Salvador, and the place has gotten a lot safer, because it was horrible before when the previous president of El Salvador was in power. Like, niggas, there's just gang violence everywhere. Niggas were dying every day. Well, I'm saying niggas were dying. A lot of niggas were dying every single day. So it's like, there was like, you know what, we're arresting all these niggas. And the place has gotten a lot safer, And that's kind of like the only middle ground that can really be there, because at least, you know, you don't have to necessarily kill them, because you make sure that they were actually a part of the crime, which they were, because I guess they're gang affiliated. But I would assume you want to get the death penalty for just a gang affiliation. It's just kind of like you want to get all the gang violence off the street, so you have to get rid of everybody who's even gang affiliated at all, or continue, bro. Because as long as there's a gang affiliated member still on the street, like, you know, the drugs are still getting sold and the gang violence is still going to continue, right? So while I would always love very, very aggressive strategies to fix problems, we have to make sure, you know, if we're going to be aggressive, we're accurate. Because if we're being aggressive and inaccurate, especially with killing drug dealers, it's not going to work in the long run. Like, too many niggas are going to be like, all right, we're just murdering niggas for no reason. We have to be super accurate. So it's difficult. It's very, very difficult.
See, take it easy.
They made it all up. Chill. So, from an emotional perspective, I hear that and I'm kind of like, okay, that is strong. But then from a logical perspective, logically, is he right about China and Singapore? Yes. Would it reduce the drugs and would it fix the problem? Yes. I mean, it's a solution. Trump is a solution-orientated man. It is a solution. Often, what you'll do, and I actually think Trump is smart enough to understand this, he says things that gets people very emotionally upset. But what did we say earlier about the threat of violence? You won't need the death penalty if you have the threat of the death penalty. I actually argue that if you do that,
which
and you
is
implement
true,
that, and you get one or two of them, and maybe you kill a couple people, not that many, or maybe you put them on death row and let them out 21 years later.
Just kind of how, like, in the same way that since ICE has been breaking out, like, a lot of public places, especially in like California, for example, have been devoid of people because nobody wants to get captured by ICE. They're devoid of illegal immigrants because nobody wants to get captured by ICE, so they're not going to be there, and they know ICE agents are out there. So that is true, bro. Like, if we did have a death penalty for anybody who sold drugs, no one would want to sell drugs because nobody wants to fucking die, you know? So it'd help, you know? It's just difficult. But I agree that, I mean, it could be implemented. We'd have to get ridiculously accurate. That's just what it is. You just would have to get ridiculously accurate, and that's just difficult to do, to be real.
Or on appeal. But if just the idea of it will fix the problem. So I think that's what he's actually doing here.
Oh, same with pedophilia. I think this is me, Andrew. I'm dead serious. If you are caught sexually assaulting a young kid, you're 100% castration. And then
that part is fine.
Yeah.
I mean, that I
Sharia
think
law.
more people are
Easy, Tate. Easy, guy.
Am I at 99% trouble yet?
yeah. More people are there. But what I'm asking you is, think about it. Drug dealer, death penalty.
But he's in a massive amount. If it's hold on.
Let me tell you something.
What
do you remember that they decriminalized and legalized all drugs in Oregon? So we have federalism in the United States. Certain states are like, yo, get crazy with it.
Yeah, but
certain states, Trump's talking about
what
this.
What are you saying, though?
What I'm saying is you're not going to listen. What happened during Prohibition? They criminalized liquor. And then what happened? The moonshine business went to the roof. And all of a sudden, that's how the mob basically came to it.
Trump's a genius. His intention with saying this is to see if the American public will accept it. If they accept it, he will implement it. Once it is implemented, he will then put a couple people on death row, which he may not even kill, which makes the drug traffickers less likely to take the job without a lot more money, which makes the drugs more expensive, which makes them harder to.
Yeah, it's true. It's like you're going, like, basically you'll only have the realest niggas selling drugs. Like, only the realest niggas will be on the street selling drugs. And you'll come to realize that there's not that many real niggas. You know what I'm saying? So realistically, the realest niggas would be selling drugs at that point. You know? Like, playing out what he's even just about to say, it's just like only the realest niggas are going to be selling drugs at that point. So it won't be that bad. Like, the problem will virtually go away, and you'll only have to deal with a few crazy niggas. Even what Adam was just talking about just now with the whole moonshine thing. You know, yeah, because I mean that can still happen. It's not like the problem's gonna completely go away. Like, no problem really completely goes away, but it'll be to the point that you're only getting the realest niggas doing the shit anymore. You know, that you're dealing with compared to just everybody's running around doing drugs. Even like all drugs getting legalized in Oregon. That's why them niggas doing the what's that shit called? The Fentifo. They just doing that little, you know, you know what I'm saying? They're doing that shit. So it's like, anyway, stupid.
To acquire. It's harder to get drug mules. It's all a big famoose. It's show business. Trump's a genius. He knows exactly what he's doing. He hasn't got to kill a single person, just like I do not have to hit my son because I would. That's what's happening.
Pow.
Vinny,
The threat of.
anything else for you?
No,
you're not fully there, though.
Well, do you know how many Americans die just from fentanyl by drug dealers every single year? Do you know the number?
Speaking of fentanyl, that's what I'm saying. Them niggas in Oregon and what's the other? What's that? Kensington? I think it's like Seattle or some shit. It's like Kensington. Like, hold on, let me see if I can find a video of the Fancy Fold, bro. That shit is so funny. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I just want to hold on. Like, look at what niggas be doing, bro. Wait, hopefully this doesn't fuck up what I'm watching over here. Hold on, y'all. All right. I don't want the fucking meme, bruh. I mean, it's specifically called nodding off. Hold on, I'm trying to find the video. Nodding off video. This is one guy I seen on TikTok that be doing that. He be doing that shit too well, bruh. Like, hold on. Hold up. Like this right here, bro.
We just got out of a pandemic, COVID. Now we got an epidemic. Fentanyl is taking over.
You see how bruh doing that? Look at him, bruh. You see how he do? He just, you know what I'm saying? Like, bruh, this what niggas be on. Like, what the fuck?
American family, look at these zombies right here. The government needs to step in. Please step in. As you can see,
it's like they're awake and asleep and shit. That shit, bruh. That shit actually looks like some zombie shit, bro. I swear to God, bruh. Never, ever do drugs, bro. Bruh. Never, ever do drugs ever in your life, bruh. I know you probably been hearing that shit since you're a kid, but bro, it is just, it's so not worth it, bro. It's just like ridiculous. It's just so not worth it, bro. Or you gonna be like one of them motherfuckers. You gonna be there in Oregon just hitting one of them. Like that gonna be you if you. It's not worth it, bro. I tell you right now, it's really not worth it, bro. All right, let's keep cooking with the interview though.
Number
100K?
hundreds some thousand. You kill one freaking. I know, and I'm with you, Andrew. You kill one of these freaking guys, and I'm telling you right now, that shit would slow down immensely.
Hell yeah, bro.
There's another thing. There's another element this year that we're missing. That is a threat. That's not a threat to drug dealers. You know that's a threat to nation states, right? You know that when we were in Afghanistan, we ensured the opium was grown because we sent the opium to China and Iraq, and we wanted to subvert their populations and Iran. You do know that like America does it. America produces drugs and sends them to their enemies. You do know China is sending drugs here. This is a veiled threat to nation states. This is deeper than just some idiot getting a death sentence. This is letting people know that your spies will get assassinated. This is deep. This is many layers deep.
By the way, the part of me loves this, and a part of me wants to see the counter argument. Make the argument on what.
Nah, that's the only. But anyway, that's what I was saying earlier. Like the only counter argument to really doing some shit like this, because I'm with it too. To be real, my only counter argument is like, how accurate can we be when it comes to the death penalty, and at what level do we decide it is death penalty or not? Like, you just have to be a drug dealer. I would assume that there's levels to drug dealer. I've never been a drug dealer before, so I don't fucking know. But I would assume that there's levels to being a drug dealer. So at what level of drug dealer does it become, death penalty? If you've only sold drugs maybe once, or however much money you've made drug dealing, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's difficult to basically say where the line is in terms of what is death penalty and what is just a long amount of jail time, if that makes sense. So, I mean, that's the only real counter argument I can think of when it comes to doing some shit like this. Like, obviously, instantly speaking, like this would get rid of the problem very fast, but it's just really the sentence. Okay, basically, the sentencing is the problem. Like, if it's just like the level at which, okay, if you're a drug dealer and you sold this amount or whatever, you got to die. Or if you've only sold this amount, you only go to jail for a little bit of time. It's like figuring out where that line is probably the most difficult thing. And the biggest issue that I think a lot of people would have with it is just like, when do we decide this nigga dies or not? But I guess that's not even really a counter argument. It's just more about figuring out the sentencing, because I think this would work, to be real. But anyway, let me see what they had to say about that shit.
What's the right thing to do here? Okay. You make one example of a drug dealer getting killed on death penalty. So the guy says, hey, man, you're going to make $100,000 on this cocaine. Hey, bro, I'm good.
Yep.
Yeah,
You know what?
but
Please,
then, okay, so you want to make the argument? Then almost what percentage of doctors are going to jail? Because those motherfuckers are putting prescriptions out for
there was a
Vicodin.
doctor. You're right. There was a
Okay,
doctor.
so then how far the big pharma's going to jail?
Guess what, though?
Albert Bourla, who made the vaccine
I remember
for Pfizer's going to jail?
A dentist was selling Vicodin to my friend who eventually died because he took 50 of them.
Weird.
A dentist was selling them back in the day.
This is also why I don't fuck with prescription drugs, bro. Like, if you can, okay, this is also one thing I think I'll say that I think is important. By the way, I'm not a certified doctor. So I'm not a certified doctor, but this is at least what I've noticed. If you can do whatever it takes to not pop on any types of prescription drugs, do it. Just do it. In fact, I'm going to extend this more than just from drugs. Drugs is obviously the most aggressive one, but just any sort of alcohol, drugs at all, don't do any of it. Literally don't do any of it. I have never seen any man ever in his life be like, thank God I was doing drugs, or thank God I was drinking alcohol. I've never seen a man say that shit ever in my life. I've actually never seen that shit. I've never seen anyone be like, I'm so excited I was drinking for years. I'm so excited I was doing drugs for years. I was so excited I was gambling for years. No man has ever said that ever. Meaning those three things, whether it be drugs, alcohol, or gambling, are things you should never, ever do. Even once. It's not worth it. And if you're doing it right now, you should 100% stop. Because I know you can't sit here and argue the fact that what you're doing right now, whether it be the drugs, the alcohol, or gambling, is benefiting your life as a man at all. Because it more than likely is not at all. And so because you know that, and because it's obviously true, it's not like doing drugs is making you richer and more capable and stronger and mentally stronger. There's just no reason for you to really be doing it at all, you know? And if you even have a reason to justify why you should keep doing it, it means you're probably addicted to the shit, which is the whole problem. Niggas be getting addicted. It's too addicted to even do the shit. And even, especially to go a step further, even if you don't do it at all, you should hang out with nobody who does these things. Because that's usually even how it starts anyway. Most people only do, it's so funny to me, but what I've at least noticed with a lot of addicts, a lot of men who become addicts to any of these things, whether it be drugs, alcohol, or gambling, it's not just because they wanted to do it. It's because one of their homies was doing it. Somebody that they were around was doing the shit. So then they just started doing the shit too. So if you have bum ass friends right now that like to smoke weed, drink, gamble, do drugs to any degree, you got to cut them off instantly. Because I promise you, you're going to do that shit with them. And then you're going to keep doing it. And once you keep doing it, it's going to be impossible to get off that shit. I don't know if you guys have ever been around an addict before, but it's fucking horrible. These niggas are always scumbags and always liars. Why? Because their highest priority is always to do what? To do drugs. To feed into their addiction. This is why homeless is really a propaganda word, by the way. That's drug addict, nigga. Ain't no homeless niggas. That's drug addict. Like, it's hard to get on the street, y'all. It's super ridiculously hard to be homeless. I don't think niggas actually realize how hard it is to be homeless. You have to really not give a fuck about anything else and only care about what? Drugs to become homeless. You really have to give a fuck about nothing else. So just understand, bro. No man ever in his life has been like, I'm so glad I did drugs. I'm so glad I was gambling. I'm so glad I'm smoking weed or I smoked weed. No one ever says that. So just don't do this shit. It's not worth it, bro. And even the last thing I would even say about this too is like, when at least specifically speaking when it comes to alcohol and weed. And this is what really made me stop. I remember me and my homie were having a conversation about this shit. We're like, all right, bro, you know, because it's fun. That's one thing I'll give it. Like smoking weed, drinking alcohol, it's fun. It's fun being drunk. It's fun being high. Food be tasting mad fucking good. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to be real. I'm not going to sit here and be disingenuous and act like, oh, doing drugs or alcohol or drinking alcohol is not fun. Like, obviously it's fun. That's why niggas do it. But what we quickly started to realize is that, okay, well, what if I'm smoking weed or I'm high or I'm drunk and an emergency situation goes down? You know, I know a lot of niggas will say, "Oh, you'll just sober up quick," but still, an emergency situation goes down or whatever. Would I be as cognitively sharp as I need to be to deal with the situation? You know, would I be extremely ready to react to an emergency situation if I'm high or I'm drunk? No, I wouldn't be. And you could be in an emergency situation out of nowhere randomly. So it's not, to me, we were thinking about that and we're like, bro, it's never worth it to do these things, because this means you can never react when you're in an emergency situation because you're under the influence. How many niggas have died in car crashes because they're driving under the influence, bro? Right? I know I sound like one of them high school teachers right fucking now, but it's true. It's really true when you sit and think about it. So, bro, the drugs, the alcohol, the gambling, none of this shit is worth it, bro. It's really just not worth it. Your life does not improve from it at all. If you're doing it right now and you don't want to stop, it means you're already kind of fucked. And even more so, you should stop doing it, because there's no benefits for it. So if you're justifying it, that means you're already in a bad situation and you 100% need to stop. So anyway, we continue.
And that's legal.
$10 a pop,
drugs.
$8 a pop, because you would buy so many of them. No, but to me, that dentist needs to be held accountable. I know who this dentist. Dentist needs to be held accountable. Guys like this are out there. This was 20 years ago. By the way, what's today's? Okay, in 2 months it's going to be 20 years. Those guys need to be held accountable. Something like this can scare the shit out of a lot of people. Let's go to the next story.
Before we move on, it's really interesting because what we're actually discussing here is the entire attitude towards law enforcement as a whole. And this is something I've been researching heavily since I got out of jail. When I was in jail in Romania, I sat there and I was with a bunch of people in jail. And obviously you all discuss your stories. And one guy was in jail for looking in a car window. There was
looking in the car window.
Street. He was walking up and down the street. The police caught him looking in a window. Didn't bring in the car. He was looking in the car, and they arrested him and said, "We think you did it. Jail." So the Romanian attitude towards justice is, we may get a few innocent bystanders, but we just lock up everyone. But society is safe.
And that's just my kind of thing with this is like, that's like the level of justice will make some shit like this hard is really what I was saying. Same thing like with the sentencing is just like, okay, if you're even slightly related to drugs, do we lock your shit up? I mean, it seems like I was saying before, it seems to be working in El Salvador. Even if you're slightly related to the gang, your ass is getting locked up, bro. You basically have to not be affiliated with a gang at all to avoid going to jail in El Salvador right now. And the shit getting safe as fuck. I'm going to be honest. Like, the shit is safe. It's getting mad safe over there. And I'm looking at that shit. I'm like, man, that's kind of fire. If the U.S. had some shit like that, yo, we'd be lit as fuck. It's just unfortunate when you're applying that amount of force, there is going to be collateral damage. Kind of like the situation that he's talking about right now, where innocent niggas, yeah, there's probably innocent prisoners in El Salvador jail right now that are not affiliated with the gang at all, like literally at all. But they're in that motherfucker because they were, in the wrong place at the wrong time. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only thing that makes it difficult. But it's like, now it's like, okay, what do we weigh here? Do we make society as a whole safer for everyone while unfortunately innocent people having to suffer for that? Or do we be like, let's ensure that everyone who we catch is actually a culprit, but unfortunately that means a lot more evil guys who actually committed crimes end up slipping through the cracks a lot more, and the crime continues. It's a very dangerous and complicated game to play. So
if you look at the British or the American way, we have larger crime problems than Romania because we believe in individual liberty. So often with
it's like, that's the thing. It's like, bruh, it's hard, man. My fault for pausing this shit a lot, but it's just like, it's hard, bro. Because now I'm just like really thinking about it and like how this could like really work. Because yeah, it's like, and that's the thing with Americans too, man. We love our freedom. That's why we be arguing with the police so much, bro. That's why we be arguing with them niggas. You know what I'm saying? You think you arguing with the police in El Salvador right now? Fuck no, bro. Your ass going to jail. Here, bro, you can start arguing with the police and shit, bro. You can just be like, nah, fuck no, I know my rights. Like, bruh, like we could do that. But unfortunately, this is how like evil people are always going to take advantage of that shit. Like they're going to take advantage of that. They're going to be like, oh, if I can argue with the police officer, I could get out of a situation when I really should be going to jail. That means I can continue to do evil shit, that fucks up society. So it's so difficult, bro. I'd love to see something like super aggressive, like, you know, drug dealers getting on the death penalty. That shit would be lit. It's just, ooh, that shit is hard, bro.
Law enforcement decisions. You have to decide, do you think of the ant or the ant farm? Because if you think of the ant farm, some ants just die. And lots of countries do this. Japan has a 99% conviction rate. Do you think that's because they're so fantastic at law enforcement? Or do you think that's because some innocent people go to jail because they care more about the perception of law and order than they care about one person's individual liberty?
That's what I'm saying,
so
bro.
This is what's interesting. It is the West that believes in what about this individual's liberty? And it is other countries that think we're prepared to sacrifice some people for the greater good, for the good and sanctity of society as a whole. There are different approaches to law enforcement. That's why China and Singapore do that. China and Singapore, I will guarantee, have executed some innocent people. But
that's what I'm saying. That's scary, though. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, and obviously that part, that's the thing that's so fucked about it, bruh. Because, yeah, bruh, more than likely some innocent niggas had died, bro. And that's cringe. But it's just like, man, bro, the greater good is just a hard thing to battle with, bro. Because you do want the bad shit to stop happening, but at the same time, like when you're extremely aggressive, naturally there's just going to be collateral damage. Like it's unavoidable. There's just no way you can be so perfect. There's not enough time. You know, when you're going individual, like there's not enough time, bro. To evil niggas, they don't give a fuck about how moral you're being. You know, they don't care. So they're going to slip through the cracks if ever we're going individual by individual. But if we just gather up everybody, including innocent people, we ain't going to miss nobody. So and that's when it starts to get the push towards basically guilty instantly. You know, not innocent before proven guilty. It's just guilty before proven innocent. So, but you'll be dead by then. You'll be dead before you get to prove that you're innocent. So it's fucked, bro. Here's what it is, man.
And less people have died. It's the same. It's the guy with the cart. You've seen the cart, and there's one person in front, and there's 5 people, the train on the tracks, and he has to pull the lever. That's all it is. And this is the approach to law enforcement globally. It's actually only Western nations that give a shit about individuality. In countries like Romania, they're like, people think he may have done it. He's a big guy. Fuck it. It's just fuck it. Fuck it. He looked in the car window. Maybe. But you can walk around at 3 a.m. with a diamond watch on. You're not gonna have any trouble. So it's
couple more topics before we wrap up. Good point. By the way, Rob, can you pull up the
hard
clip
situation, bro,
with the president, actually Zelensky and the president together? That is a clip that doesn't get it. It just, I can watch it so many times.
This shit was funny. Oh yeah, by the way, this was once again, this interview took place 4 months ago. So
times watching this guy's audacity to feel comfortable. Just go to my Twitter account, Rob. You're gonna have a long time finding it. Just go to my Twitter account and go lower. You'll see the video. This is Zelensky in a White House sitting next to J.D. Vance. Do the first one. Lower, not that one. That's about his outfit. Go one lower, right there. I want to get your reaction on this. This is Zelensky sitting there talking to the president. And by the way, some people are saying that he slipped up a word and he cursed at J.D. Vance.
Call him a bitch. A bitch. In Ukraine,
right.
He called him a bitch.
Play this clip, Rob. Go for it.
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you are not strong...
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the president for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to...
Come once.
I have actually...
Them niggas getting fucked up. I'll tell you that shit right now.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military?
We have problems.
And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future.
He said nice ocean, bro.
Bless,
you don't know that.
God bless.
You
God bless. You will not have war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because you're in no position to dictate that. Remember this.
I'm not
You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very
You will
good.
feel influence.
We're going to feel very good and very strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position.
Not
You've
at all.
allowed
From
yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about
From
it.
the very beginning of the war.
You're not
Mr.
in a
Brown,
good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having
not playing
cards.
cards.
But right now, you don't.
I'm
Yeah,
very
you're playing
serious,
cards.
Mr. President.
You're
I'm
playing
very
cards.
serious.
You're
I'm
gambling
the
with the
president
lives
in
of
war.
millions of people.
You think-
You're gambling with World War III.
What do you
You're
think about?
gambling with
What do you
World
think
War
about?
III. And
Yeah.
what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country.
I'm
It's
with
back
all
to
respect to
you.
your
Far
country.
more than a lot of people said
wearing
they
respect.
should
Look
have.
at he's leaning in.
Oh, he wants to hit that.
A lot of times.
No, in this
Even
entire meeting,
today.
you said thank
Even
you.
today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the
I think after this interview too, which I'm about to finish playing, I think after this interview too, he literally went back to Europe and he basically went on a tour in Europe with like a bunch of European leaders. And they were like fucking with him. They're like, oh yeah, man, we still got you and whatever. I'm like, damn, bro. Like, we're the ones who are helping you the most. Like, in terms of America, we're the ones helping you the most with this fucking war. The European niggas ain't even doing shit for you. So they're you over there acting all buddy with them. Them niggas not even helping you fight the damn war. So it's just funny because them European niggas too is the same shit. Like, we can't really fuck with them either, bro. Because they're over here going buddy with he's going back there being buddy with them. We're the niggas that are actually helping this nigga fight his war. And the niggas talking shit to us. Like, that's just so funny to me, bro.
United States
What
of
are you
America
speaking about?
and the president who's trying to save your country.
Thoughts?
I have to be careful what I say about this because I returned to the Ukrainian border on the 23rd of March. But obviously, truthfully, I'm quite outraged. The fact that even at the beginning of the clip, he had his arms crossed, which is the terrible body language. You notice at the beginning, he has his arm crossed.
Yeah.
Very petulant. I don't know where he gets this confidence from. I'm not sure if he just bought into his own Kool-Aid. I would argue.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe it's just because he got the European homies back at home, bro. That's what he fucking with. Like, he just know, man, I got my homies back home that I'm fucking with. So
that he had assurances from the deep state that Trump would never win. I feel like if I had to analyze, he feels betrayed. I feel like he said, well, the Americans promised they're going to help me. Now they've changed their minds. They promised me. They put me in this position. That's why he's probably secretly angry at America, no matter how much we give him. But
because the fuck, bro, we're just wasting resources on a losing war. Them niggas can't win a war against Russia. Like, let's just be real, right? I'm like, you don't even need to be, a prime militant and analyzer to understand the fact that, like, bro, like, these niggas are not going to be Russia in a war. Like, let's just keep it a stack. So the fact that bro can even pull up to the White House, talk about some, hey man, you don't know what's going on, nigga. Yes, we do. We giving you all your weapons, bro. Like, come on now.
I mean, that was obviously a PR disaster from him. I am truthfully more outraged by the instant European tour that they threw together for him. And they dragged the leaders of every single European
country. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they were fucking with him.
Country together to treat him like a hero and run him all over the place. That is another spit in the face of President Trump. I would like to think that Trump thinks the same as me, that if you add up the fact that Europe is now buddying up with people who disrespect him to his face, not allowing free speech. I mean, what do we even have in common anymore with our European allies, supposedly? The fact that Keir Starmer left the White House, flew home, and instantly met Zelensky is disgusting.
Pull up that clip, Rob.
Shit, wow, bro.
And when he's talking about conscription, you guys know what they're doing there, right?
Yep.
There's videos, Andrew, and Pat, I send them to.
It's crazy though, but I just feel like I noticed, like, over as time has passed, it's like back then, like, there's just like fear behind the name of the U.S., bro. Probably even, especially like end of World War II, bro. Niggas be scared of us, bro. You know what I'm saying? Once we drop them nukes on Japan, bro, over with. Like, you hear the U.S.'s name, you scared, bro. You was scared as fuck. But like nowadays, bro, it's like the U.S. just does not have like the world-renowned respect that it used to have, bro. I blame Israel a lot for this shit because we're basically helping them do a genocide in Gaza, right? So it makes everybody else in the world like look at us with so much disrespect now, of course, because they're like, why is this tiny nation in the Middle East controlling everything that the U.S. does? Why is the U.S. giving this small little nation in the Middle East billions of dollars? Like, that's so weird. Like, and especially because they're doing it, they're giving these people money while they're genociding a group of people. So it was like, it's weird. But I've noticed like more and more and more, like the U.S. is just less and less and less respect around the world. you know? And I think this will be continue, mainly just because of Israel, as I just said, but just generally speaking that, you know, someone that we are helping to an incredible degree with their own war, they're a losing war, to be real, you know, can come into our Oval Office and start be like talking shit and be talking back. I'm like, bitch, nigga, y'all could die. Like, I sit there and be like, you know, y'all niggas could die, right? Like, we could just not give a fuck. So it's ridiculous. And even when it comes to NATO, bro, we actually give by far the most money to NATO. I'm talking about like the whole alliance that the US has with all these other European nations that are not like Russia and shit. Like, we're the ones who give the most money to that shit. So it's like even funnier, bro, because like all the European niggas that are like with each other over there and like are fucking with him, bro, it's like, nigga, we're your military. Like, if we just did not fuck with y'all, y'all be fucked. Russia just be like, you know what, we're gonna take Europe. They do it. So that's just, all that shit is just so funny to me, bro. Like, I really want the U.S. to gain the respect that it used to have, bro. We gotta stop fucking with niggas, bro. We gotta stop fucking with niggas. We really gotta stop fucking with niggas, bro. We need to really regain our respect as a country, bro, and stop like letting niggas even pull up to the Oval Office talking shit. I'm like, bro, we're not gonna give y'all bread no more. Like, the fuck, this isn't even like a debate.
Send them to Rob. They're literally pulling up in vans. Guy's walking his dog, and they're grabbing him and throwing him in a van and bringing him into the front lines to die. Is that not dictatorship as a leader?
What's this video here?
Like, look at this guy's walking his dog. There's
That's
volume.
fucking
They
wild,
run
bro.
up on this guy. They snatch his ass. They leave the dog. They throw him in there, and they literally put him in the front lines to die. This is what JD Vance was talking about. He's like, he's like, you're losing this war. And the soldiers, Andrew, don't want to fight. They're tired. They're done.
I mean,
they
I
know
will
they're
be
gonna
too,
freaking
nigga.
lose. So look, they grab the dude and they put him in the van, and he's done. He's in the front lines and he dies. Period.
We have to argue if Zelensky's trying to save himself, because I think one of the biggest mistakes he made
Sure.
there is, I think only America could have kept him alive when this is all.
In fact, actually, we'll stop right here. We'll stop right here. I will pick back up tomorrow at 6 p.m. You know, I'm going to take care of some other content stuff. I got some stuff planned probably this weekend. That should be cool. Something new that I'll probably upload to my YouTube. So I want to prepare some shit for that. But I'll definitely be back, you know, tomorrow, 6 p.m. So last but not least, let me shout out all the socials for y'all boys. So, you know, you can fuck with your boy. And we can grow the fucking fam. The fam got to grow no matter what. The fam is going to grow no matter what. I'm too real for it not to grow, bro. Like, it's just how I move. All right, let me get the X up for y'all. And then TikTok. All right, bam, bada boo. So, fuck with your boy on everything, Brad. First, fuck with your boy on the IG, Ali Argudade. I drop a bunch of success skits on here, success tips, thread/X content on here. Definitely fuck with your boy on here. Got to build a fam everywhere naturally. You know what I'm saying? Fuck with your boy on YouTube. Fuck with your boy on the YouTube. And YouTube too as well. I literally just actually uploaded a video today about who cares what average men think, because if you're watching this shit right now, you don't want to be an average dude and you want to actually live an exceptional life. So this is how you do it, by not caring about what the average man thinks. Because think about it, if you want to live an exceptional life, you know, you want to avoid listening to people who are unexceptional, because how are they going to advise you to be exceptional if they're not exceptional themselves? Understand? So definitely check that shit out. Post that today. And also the other videos too, just hella shit that's very similar to that. You know what I'm saying? So fuck with your boy on here, Ali Argundade as well. Let me fuck with. And I nicely X2 as well. Got nobody in this X right now, but you don't gotta like this shit up. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be your number one supporter as you cook and improve and get better and shit. So fuck with your boy on here. I love just tweeting about a bunch of random shit going on here. X is too fucking funny, bro. Niggas are just so funny on X. And obviously you can talk about like politics and, you know, a lot of other different stuff. So I love to cook on here as well. So definitely follow your boy on here. And then last but not least, the app that is supposed to be banned but never fucking gets banned, like ever. And that is TikTok, man. Follow your boy on the TikTok. Trying to grow this motherfucker a lot. Trying to grow the fam on here, of course. It's Ali Argudade. Even if you don't fuck with TikTok or you have it deleted, re-download that shit just for me so you can follow me on here, of course, because, you know, I'm just the realest nigga ever. And you fuck with me. So, yeah. So, fuck with your boy on here. And with all that being said, too, like the stream. If you fuck with me, fuck what I'm talking about and what I like to do and the things that I care about, then of course, like the stream. So more guys who fuck with that shit too and becoming successful and achieving their goals can see me and see this shit and see what I got going on. Of course. So like the stream, whether you're watching on YouTube, watching on Rumble, watching on X, wherever it is, like the stream so more guys can see this shit. And of course, you can put post notifications on so you can see whenever I'm going to stream. I usually stream 6 p.m. Eastern time, of course, every single day. So yeah. With that being said, I love you, fam. I'm going to catch y'all boys next stream.